Welcome back, guys, to my series of horror movie reviews. Yes, it's almost done. I got till today and Halloween to finish it up. Gotta wrap it up real quick. Unfortunately, since Halloween and October came by real quick. Man, I hate it when time flies. But without further ado, this is a film trilogy I wanted to talk about for a very long time on my channel. As this is October, since it's close to Halloween, it is a perfect time to talk about the Evil Dead trilogy. Now, I'm going to review all three films in one video since I don't really have time to do it in separate videos. So, I'm going to review the first Evil Dead, then Evil Dead 2, then Army of Darkness. So let's start with, of course, The Evil Dead. Now, The Evil Dead came out in 1981 and is directed by Sam Raimi, who has also directed another film trilogy, that is the Spider-Man film trilogy. Well, the third movie didn't happen, so the first two Spider-Man movies, yeah, Spider-Man 3 sucked, but we're not going to talk about Spider-Man right now, so we're going to talk about The Evil Dead. So the film stars Bruce Campbell, who plays Ash. He's with his girlfriend and his three friends. They go to this cabin, they find this evil book, which, looking at the cover of that book, I wouldn't read that book. That book looks nothing but trouble. And they read the book, and they, of course, reawakens the dead. And that's, of course, the basic plot of the film. Now, The Evil Dead is a classic. This film was a classic. I remember watching this movie on Netflix like 5 years ago, and I remember just being creeped out of my mind. Now I'm like, this movie is pretty freaky. And for a movie that came out in 1981, it really holds up very well when it comes to the practical effects. The practical effects doesn't even seem dated, especially when it comes to the evil zombies and monsters. This movie looks so great. It looks so real, better than anything we see in horror movies nowadays, to be honest, and that's really sad. And like I said, when it comes to old horror films that came out in the 70s and 80s, they hold up very well. Like Halloween, The Shining, they hold up very well. And it's sad to compare it to horror movies we have nowadays. Some of them are alright, but they don't make us like how they used to in the 70s and 80s. And Evil Dead is one of those ones that they don't make them like they used to anymore. And this is the first film where I don't really see Bruce Campbell or Ash as the main protagonist. He's just a guy who survives in the film. Ash isn't the main character like him in the next two sequels. He's just a guy who survives. There's no real well, you could say Ash is the protagonist, but he's more of a lone survivor in the movie. We don't really have a true hero in this movie yet. It kind of reminds me of Ripley in the first Alien. She's not a true hero yet. She became a true hero in Aliens. So it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And the scares, the scares in this movie were just perfect. It was top-notch. Sam Raimi did a good job with the direction of this film. And the tree rape scene, yeah, that scene was, yeah. And this movie, like I said, doesn't even feel dated. And the blood and the gore looks real and practical. Ugh. Love 80s horror movies. The 80s is, of course, my favorite decade. If you guys don't know that, if you see my past videos, like I explain why I love the 80s so much. They have such great films in that decade. But anyways, The Evil Dead, this movie is a classic. Unfortunately, I don't own this movie on Blu-ray. I was stupid. Oops, sorry, I hit my eye. I was stupid not to own this movie. I was stupid not to own the other two movies. No, anyways, The Evil Dead is a classic. I love this film. I'm gonna give The Evil Dead an A. Evil Dead 2 is the sequel / reboot. Yes, this movie is a reboot despite it calling Evil Dead 2. Because Sam Raimi decided to reboot Evil Dead, even though this movie is a sequel and it's called Evil Dead 2. And I'm just like, okay. But this movie is my favorite in the Evil Dead franchise. I love Evil Dead 2. And this film is of course, a horror comedy. And this was Sam Raimi decided to do when he rebooted the Evil Dead films. He decided to just go away from the straight horror film like the first one and make it more of a horror comedy. And don't get me wrong, I like horror comedies like Evil Dead 2. But as long as it's good, and as long as it doesn't mess up a good franchise to begin with. But we're not going to get to that. We already discussed about that. But now Evil Dead 2, they definitely raised the bar with this one when it comes to the practical effects, and this, with the demons and the monsters, all good stuff in this movie. This movie had a lot of great stuff, great humor, great blood, great everything, and this is the first film where Ash is Ash. Yes, Ash becomes the hero of this franchise. This is the first time when we see Ash is the guy. This is the first film where I bought this guy being the hero of this franchise, and for many people too. This is the first film when Ash became Ash. You know, the Groovy and the chainsaw hand, which, of course, when he cut up his hand and replaced it with a chainsaw, his blood just splatters on his face. That was awesome. Great 80s special effects right there. Like I said, they don't make them how they used to anymore. That's the problem with horror films nowadays. Evil Dead 2, or Dead by Dawn, is of course my favorite in this franchise. I love Evil Dead 2. I love the humor in this film. Sam Raimi did a great job. And I started to see a pattern where the first movie is good, second movie is great, and the third movie, which I don't hate Army of Darkness. I love Army of Darkness, by the way, but it's a tie between Army of Darkness and the first Evil Dead, or which is my second or least favorite Evil Dead movie. The third film is my least favorite, so that is sort of like a pattern when it comes to trilogies. But Evil Dead 2, great horror film, great comedy film, great movie in general. I love Evil Dead 2. I watch this movie every time I watch it. I never get tired of it. This movie never gets old. And if they ever re-release this movie next year, since next year is the 30th anniversary of Evil Dead 2, I would go see this movie in theaters. This movie would have been a great movie experience. And Evil Dead 2, what more can be said? Great movie. Groovy movie, actually. Oh, I'm bad with my jokes. Evil Dead 2 obviously gets an A+. Army of Darkness, the third in the Evil Dead trilogy, and this movie kind of is a little bit underrated nowadays. And Army of Darkness is a pretty fun sequel. I love Army of Darkness, and Ash is actually stuck in medieval times, and you have to search for the evil book to go back to his time period, and that is the simple plot of the movie. Army of Darkness is a fun ride. I love this movie. It's debatable which one is my least favorite between the first Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. I love Evil Dead 2. I love all these movies, actually. I love all of them. But I do gotta say, to come to think of it, I love Army of Darkness. Well, the first Evil Dead, it's hard. It's hard. For which one's my least favorite. It's hard. Even though, honestly, yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to say, honestly, because all these movies are great, even though Evil Dead 2 is a masterpiece. I love Evil Dead 2. I love the first Evil Dead. Army of Darkness is a fun ride. But really, it's hard. This movie has a lot of great moments, like the medieval stuff in this movie. Ash is still a BA in this movie. I love that he had a second head. That was pretty cool. And again, great special effects, great practical effects. Practical effects in the Evil Dead trilogy, just superb. I love the practical effects in these movies. And I love the battle with the evil monsters and skeletons and stuff in this movie, but it's awesome. I mean, you can't get wrong with the Evil Dead movie. You can't. You can't. This is what, really. You can't get wrong with the Evil Dead franchise. This movie is just great. Popcorn fun. You'll love this movie. This movie's a fun ride. Again, it's debatable for which one I like more, this or the first Evil Dead, because nothing can beat Evil Dead 2. And Army of Darkness is, of course, the closure for this franchise. But unfortunately, we had the reboot, which I'm not going to review, and the TV show Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which I've been watching a few episodes of it, and I'm really digging the show. I am really digging Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Army of Darkness, great sequel, great third film, a third film that doesn't suck. Really? Do you hear that, Spider-Man 3? Do you hear that, Spider-Man 3? Army of Darkness is one of those third films that doesn't suck. Yeah, because Sam Raimi, You did great on on Army of Darkness, but you screwed up big time on this movie. I love the Evil Dead trilogy. I really do. I really do. I'm gonna give Army of Darkness an A. Guys, you are the best. And stay tuned on Halloween for my review of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, boy! Stay tuned for my review. So let me know what you guys think of the Evil Dead movies in the comment section down below. What is your favorite? What is your least favorite? Just leave your thoughts on the films in the comment section down below. Do you hate the reboot? Do you like the new TV show? Or do you like the reboot? Whatever. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. And if you are new to my channel and you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.